I think it is going.
Still says waiting on my end.
There it goes. Now we're
Yeah, they can't see us, but they can hear us.
good.
All right. So we got everything in order. I think we're good. If you
All right.
time for this buttery smooth transition.
Oh, good. I have my stuff muted, so I'm good.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Should show us on there now.
All right. So, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Weekend Wisdom, episode 22, I believe. So, I'm surprised I've got to 22. I was like, man, I wonder how far I'm going to get with this. And 22, we're still going strong. So, that's really awesome. So first, we're gonna start off with our vape buffets, and then after that, we're gonna get into a little bit of advocacy. So Shane, show them what you're vaping on this week.
All right. Hey, everybody. Hope y'all had a good week last week. Sorry I couldn't be here. Went on vacation. We had a good time, but I'm glad to be home. So, got my Axial on the White Dreamer. What do I have in there? Oh, Shamrock Cookie, of course. I couldn't think of because I changed them around a little bit. And I still got my Unity on the Shogun, and in there I have some Cloud Nerds, strawberry lemon candy.
That's some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, still got the Amit on the Armor Pro and the Caliburn. In both of those, I have some Paradigm Nilla Killer, 12 milligram. I got my Dead Goat on the Mr. Just Right. And in there, I have some Bell Islander from IVC, Blackberry Lemonade. And still rocking the intake on the Aegis and the Novo. And in there, I have some Bubs from IVC.
Nice, nice. So to start out for me, I have the Dreamer stack with that light a little bit. The Dreamer stack with the Bonza 1.5 on there. Some Macy Bandit Builds coils, and they rip. And inside that, I got some icing on the flakes. If you have not tried this stuff is super addicting and amazing. Try it. It's like a frosted flake flavor. Next, I got the Mutant on top of the Pulse Dual. Randy Vape decided to bring this thing all back out. And inside that, I got some Brewed Awakening coffee, their classic flavor. It's pretty good. I've been liking their chai tea flavor too. Next, I got the Keen with the Rebirth RTA on top from Mike Vapes with Fountain Blast Off in there. Some
Uh
good
oh.
stuff. Thank you, Vaping with the Omies.
You're on the blast off train now.
Yeah, I'm on bottle one. Where y'all at? I want to know.
They're probably on 14 or
Next, I got
15.
the Turk. Yeah, no kidding. I think they're on 14 or something like that. They're going crazy at it. It's pretty good though. I see why they're doing it. Next, I got the Gold Turk on top of the NATO with some Turkish Harvest in there. It's the butterscotch apple. It's really
Nice.
good. I've been loving it. And then last, I got the Dreamer with the Turk V2 on top of this one as well. The black one, though. Inside that, I got the Prohibition Syntax, and I also got that in my Orchid Pod.
Ooh.
I got some new stuff coming this week, so hopefully, I think I'm gonna order another NATO because I don't know what it is about this mod, dude. It it's not um you have to adjust the pin and everything. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just something I really like. It hits hard for a brass tube to
Yeah.
me, and they're only $35 right now because they're trying to get rid of them because they're super old. But
And
I think I'm gonna order another.
the button on there is just cool as shit.
Yeah, I think that might be what it's got me.
Yeah.
It's super comfortable because half the time your logo matches up, or you can find a way where it'll match up,
Yeah.
and then your finger just goes right in that little slot.
Yeah.
For me, it's just super comfortable. I might have to do this for one of my favorites this week. or one of my Flashback Friday vapes. But anyway, let's get into some vaping topics. Let's get into some advocacy because the show's all about advocacy, and I thank everyone for being in chat. I see Vapor Swaggins in here. I know he's at the show. I see Matt. He's in here. I know he's at the show. Um, Raven Shadow. I don't know if he's at the show, but I know for sure that the other two are. So I thank y'all for taking time out of being at the show and hanging out with us. I mean, you don't have to, but it's awesome that you got to stop in and everything. And I wish I was there. It'd be super fun.
Yes.
But oh yeah, I mean, I'm trying to. Me and Shane were talking about it a minute ago. We're gonna try to go to the Vegas show, so hopefully that goes through and we can both go. But we're gonna try to start going to some more shows. I know I am. I know Shane wants to. But yeah, because we want to be able to see the people that come into the chat and be able to actually meet them, put a face to face. We talk to a lot of these people on a Zoom room throughout almost every day, but it's awesome to be able to actually meet them in person.
Raven Shadow is a she, and she is in Utah.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Whoops.
Yeah, whoops. But so let's get into some vaping topics, some advocacy. One of the ones was the PMTA process that I honestly haven't studied up on too much. I kind of just taken it from word to word from different people. So we're not going to go too much in depth on it, but we're going to talk about it a little bit because it is something that's big that's happening. And I'm pretty sure the next show that will be one of the main topics because it'll give us time to actually research it. But if you watch the Vape Stew, Jay Hayes came on there, and he pretty much came on there just to talk about that. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's something that's super awesome. He came on there to help everyone else out and talk about it because I mean, it's directly affecting him because he's a shop owner, and it's directly affecting a lot of the consumers also. So I
Yep.
mean, to me, it's a huge thing that he came on there and wanted to talk about it because I know from his view, it's like, hey, it's my shop that's going to be hurting, but then everyone else's view, it's hey, I'm going to be hurting because where am I supposed to buy this from now? Especially if they want to do away with online sales and stuff like that, it's going to be super hard to get a lot of stuff in. We're going to have to start going through friends and all these other things. So that's going to be something that's going to be big that we're going to have to make sure we're paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
But what it is pretty much from the date that the court put it in ruling or whatever, they have the FDA has 60 days to appeal it. Once they appeal it, then anything can happen. But if they don't appeal it within 60 days, or they do appeal it and it fails, or they lose, then in 10 months, pretty much all vaping products will be going away. And like Jay Hayes said, if there's a favorite juice you like out there, if there is a pretty much if there's anything out there that you want and you really like and you have more than one of, he said go ahead and order as many as you can
Yep.
because you're going to need to because you're not going to be able to pick them up as frequently or pick them up as easy. So I mean, yeah, it's something that's super scary to talk about and super scary to hear about, but I mean, it's something that we definitely need to keep in the back of our mind, even if the FDA does appeal.
Yeah, and just make
So
sure.
that is,
Yeah, make sure that you are keeping abreast of everything.
we went to a shop the other day and I was talking to them. I went in there to see if they had any wire because I wanted a specific wire to build with, and I have a shipment coming in Monday. But I was like, you know what? I'll just go in here and see what they have and talk to them a little bit. And I asked them how hard is it right now for them to stay afloat. He said it's not too bad, but their shop is more of a chain shop.
Mm-hmm.
It's Artisan Vapor, and we have a couple. I think there's like 30 total, but most of them are based in Texas. And he said that their boss does come up to them with most of the advocacy stuff and most of the stuff that's going on, like with PMTAs and all the other rulings. But make sure you're checking them, or hey, this is going on, so this is really going to hurt us if we do this, or talking about. And then he was talking about like how hard it is for them to bring in products because they don't know if it'll sell. Because say if they brought in the new Falcon tank and you could have some people say, "Oh yeah, that's awesome. Let me go buy one." But then you have people say, "Oh, it's the exact same thing as the other one. Why would I want to go buy this one?" So I mean, there's a bunch of different things that could go into play with that. But I was talking to him a little bit, and they had some pretty newer things. They had the Profile Unity. I know they had the Kalen too, and they had a couple other tanks and RTAs and RDAs that was pretty cool to see inside of a shop. They actually had uh, the Ocula, so that was
Oh,
something that was pretty
nice.
cool too. I was like, dang, I didn't think a shop like this would have it, but
I mean,
they
just a
had some
second.
stuff like that. Yeah, but I mean, it was pretty cool to be able to go into a shop and see stuff like that, see stuff that you wouldn't regularly see at most shops. Because like my town shop, they carry a lot of geek vape, a lot of smoke products or smoke, however you want to say it. They carry some Bandy vape stuff, but they don't carry a lot of RDAs. I think the only RDA they did have was a dead goat for a little while after the big mech mod thing went through, where everyone was buying mech mods and everyone was loving them. But yeah, FDA has 10 months. Yeah, so 10 months from yesterday. Thank you, Raven Shadow. But yeah, 10 months from yesterday. So, I mean, this is something that we definitely need to look out to. So, getting back on topic with it again, but this is something we definitely need to be looking out for. And we need to, if you have a local vape shop that you go into, make sure you definitely bring them up. I know Shane was about to say something like that. And I know he probably will say something like that. So, let's see what he says. But yeah, like Shane was
So,
saying, is we need to make sure that we're letting the local vape shops know this also, because as hobbyists, we're the ones watching YouTube. We're the ones looking for the news. As a vape shop, they might be so busy that they can't really look for the news. They just hear about it on social media whenever they can. So this is something definitely that'd be really good for you to do, is go into your local vape shop, go in there, buy something, hang out, whatever you want to do, and talk to them about this process, because this is a huge process that is definitely going to hurt the vape community and products and anything you want to get your hands on to help you stop smoking and help people in the future stop smoking. So, I mean, this is something we definitely need to make sure we're bringing up to everyone.
mm-hmm.
Vapors, the new vapor, the old vapor, doesn't matter who you are. We need
Right.
to make sure we're bringing this up to anyone.
Yeah, and we got to get the correct information out to the non-vapor, non-smoker, or never vape, never smoked, because the antis are pretty much force feeding their information to everyone that they can get a handout to, or even get a commercial on the TV. We can't do that. We don't have the financial backing to do that, so we have to depend on that word of mouth. That's the only way we can do that. And writing your representatives and contacting them is probably one of the most important things you can do, because that's how you get your voice out there. But speaking to just people in general helps so much, because that way they can say, oh, well, there is more other research other than what we're being provided. Well, let me go look. Some people will do that, and some people will be like, no, 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 I'm not worried about that. I know all about that. They've told me everything I need to know. And, you might not be able to reach those people, but if you can get to that one person that will take it at face value and say, oh, there's other information, let me go look it up. And they go to that, Royal College of Physicians, or, all the other research that's being done. The same thing that Danielle Jones, she put up that thing about the youth vaping, from I can't remember the guy's name, but it was a scientist, and he took and broke everything down. Except he did it reverse engineering. Here's how many people
Mm-hmm.
didn't vape or haven't vaped. Nobody looks at that. They look at the statistics of how many people, or how many under 18 have vaped, rather than how many
Mm-hmm.
under 18 have not vaped. So, and he took and did it backwards, which is a huge impact that we can get out there to the people that don't smoke, don't vape. Those are the people that we have to reach.
Yep. And like Raven Shadow says, advocate not for ourselves, but for those who coming behind us, give them a chance to have the right to be able to be smoke free. So I mean, yeah, that's something that we all need to do, because that's something me and Shane always preach that. It's not, we don't do this show for us. This show we do for people out there who want to be up to date on everything, and somewhere for someone to send a link to someone and say, hey, look, these people know what they're talking about. Let's give them a chance. Listen to what they have to say, because I mean, there's a lot of smokers out there right now who think that vaping is honestly worse for you, and that's what the general public has done. They've put a bad name to vaping. So I mean, it's terrible to see, but then again, we all have to realize that everything comes with struggles. This will
Mm-hmm.
come with a struggle, but we will get through this. So I mean, even this thing with the 10-month, with all the PMTAs and everything, I don't see vaping going completely away. I know there's always going to be around. I mean, look what medical marijuana did and recreational did,
Mm-hmm.
cannabis, whatever you want to call it. They pretty much, like, people were using it on a regular basis all the time, and then they said, hey, you know what, it's illegal. After they said it's illegal, you see people just spiking up using it. People going to jail for it. People getting uh, a lot of serious time just for having something on them. I mean, it helps people sleep, it helps people eat, it helps
Mm-hmm.
people with cancer, helps people with pain, anxiety, headaches. It helps people with a lot of different things. And vaping is something that you can kind of compare to it. Now, I'm not saying it's going to help you fight cancer, but it's going to help you not have the same risk as cigarettes to get cancer. There's
Right.
only a 5% chance with vaping.
Yeah.
But whenever you're smoking a cigarette, I don't even want to know what the chance. 70 something, 100%,
Yeah,
something around there. But I
it's a
mean, it's
100% chance you're gonna die if you're smoking. But
oh
you
yeah,
want a hundred
yeah. And
percent
every
chance or
every
you want a
cigarette
five
you
percent
light,
chance?
yeah, and every cigarette you light throughout your whole lifetime, just think about it. That could be taking anywhere away from 1 second of your life to a year away from your life. Every single cigarette, every single time. The more and the more that you smoke, the more and the more junk piles up in your lungs and in your body, and then gives you cancer and everything, and it can do a lot of to you. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff
Yep.
that we need to make sure we're getting out there. And uh I mean, Logan over there on
Logan
was
exhales
he
on
on
Twitter.
Twitter? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
on Twitter. He's always posting good stuff on there. So definitely go check him out on Twitter. I have a Twitter. Shane, did you get one yet?
I'm in the process of setting it up.
Yeah, so Shane's gonna have one. I mean, and honestly, the thing I really like about Twitter is that it's like Instagram without the pictures.
Yeah.
It makes it, because whenever you go into Instagram, no one really reads the captions. Half the time, someone barely reads it.
Yeah.
But on Twitter, it's like Instagram without the pictures. All it is just the captions. So you could put a lot of meaningful words in there, and people actually have to read it to be able to like it or repost it or anything. That's honestly why I don't see a lot of people on Twitter. But I mean, it's something that I like to use. Like every now and then, when I have a good thought pop up in my head, I'm like, you know what? Let me post it on Twitter. You just have one little thought, just post it on there. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do.
Yep.
Oh, Clown Vapes is in the house.
Yep.
And speaking of that, let's give him a huge shout out because he is the sponsor for this show. And if you want Clown Coils or his Mr. J's Vape Supplies juice, we do giveaways on here from time to time, and you can use code Wisdom to get 10% off on your purchase for any Clown Coils or any of his Mr. J Vape Supplies liquid on his website. So make sure y'all go check him out. I cannot put the link to the website in the description, but y'all know where to find him. I believe it might be in his Instagram bio. So I mean, just definitely go check him out. He's got
Yep.
some really good stuff on there, and he distros through a lot of different people. So I mean, I bought plenty of different things from him.
Yeah, he's got a
That's
lot
he
of different. He doesn't just have his coils and juice. There's a hardware. There's all sorts of stuff on there, and he has a
oh
wrench. If
yeah,
he wants to throw his website up there, feel free.
yeah, yeah. Throw it in there. And like I bought my Apocalypse from him, and he's helped me buy wire. I mean, there's liquids, there's a bunch of stuff on there that he has the ability to help you get. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, make sure you definitely take advantage of the code. It does not work with most of the things. It works with pretty much his coils and his liquid, his
Mm-hmm.
own ones. But I mean, his coils are really good.
Yeah.
He's one of the people that inspire me to start building coils. I want to say, oh, it was AJ Holland or oh, it was Own Boy and all these other people who inspired me. No, it was mainly Clown because he actually. I mean, I've never got to meet all those other people in real life, but he actually said, "Hey, man, I'm going to Houston too. Do you want me to bring my stuff to show you how to build a coil? I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. So he brought it, we pulled it out, and we spun out some Claptons and everything. So I mean, super awesome, super good guy. But yeah, I mean, he's like he said right here, he's working on getting Turk coils on the
Hmm.
website. So I mean, like I said, you can get a lot of different things on there. So I mean, before you go looking around for some stuff, definitely go check on there because he's got some pretty good prices
Oh,
too.
and he's got coal turd already.
Oh yeah, see
I
there
didn't
you
know
go.
that.
Yeah,
But
he's got a lot of good stuff.
yeah, I'd rather have clown coils than coal turd.
Yeah, I've never had coil turd. I was actually looking at his the other day, and his are kind of the cheaper ones of all the other big name people you see
Hmm.
out there. So it's kind of like, man, let me try it. But honestly, I'm like, man, I don't really want to buy any cools. I started making my own.
Yeah, I mean his coils are good. They're just not great. So no offense to
Yeah.
coal turd. He's a nice guy. I've talked to him before.
Mm. But yeah, so back onto advocacy and stuff. Like we said, make sure you get out there and do something, please, because this little thing right here could turn into something major. It all
Hmm.
depends on what the FDA wants to do, when they want to do something, how they want to go about it. Because you got to think about it this way: the FDA and big pharma, you kind of put them together, right? And big tobacco, you put all them in one big thing. Kind of like what they want to do with vaping and smoking. They want to put it all in one category. We could put all them in one category. So we're going to put them in one category. But then you see all these people now who are going out there and they are trying to, all the tobacco companies are trying to make a vaping product because they see it's the new thing. It's the new thing to help people out, or they don't really care if it helps people out. It's a new way to make money for them,
Yep.
is what they're seeing. So I mean, there's definitely something there for them. So they're all like, oh yeah, definitely, let's go make a product. But they also have to go through this PMTA process as well. But they have the money for it. But then if they're not through the PMTA process, you got to think about who's going to be on our side for this. If they have not made it through that process yet, whose side are they going to be on? They're going to be on the vaping side. They're going to be fighting against it. They're not going to be fighting with it, saying, "Oh yeah, let's just let it go. Yeah, it's whatever." But they have money on the line with their products that they're trying to make vape, or they're trying to make vape products for. They're going to have their money on the line for that, so they're definitely going to have to go about it a different way and kind of fight with the vaping community
Yep.
and try to, persuade the FDA to go fight this and give them information to why to fight it. Because I mean, I know they have a lot of money, and I'm pretty sure if all this goes away and they couldn't get theirs through and they spent a lot of money on it, it's not that much to them. But then they're thinking in the future also, like we are. They're thinking, how much money can I make off this in the future? Not right
Yep.
now, but later on. Let me go ahead and let me talk to some people from the FDA because they have those kind of connections where they could do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's definitely some things right there for them to think about and not just fight against. Because I mean, even like look in Colorado where they had the sales tax going against tobacco products and vaping products, I believe, and it got declined. And the people who was helping fight it was tobacco companies because they have a hand inside this industry as well, especially
Hmm.
once they start putting everything together, vaping and tobacco. Once they
Yeah.
put those together, they're kind of stuck together.
Hmm. And I don't like that. I'd much rather it be separate because it is two totally different things. They both have nicotine. That's the only uh, similarity between the two. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
can't get a strawberry lemon flavored cigarette. You
Yep.
can't do it. It just doesn't happen. You can get a grape cigar and wintergreen dip and all this other stuff, but it's totally not the same. And I understand that big tobacco wants to get their hand in it simply because there's money to be made, and whatever money they make off of vaping, if it's separate, it will not go into that fund where they have to pay that out every how often they pay that out to the states or whatever. I
Yeah.
can't remember what that's called.
They've been talking about it on a lot of shows. MSA, I think.
Yeah, so something like that. That they pay
Yeah.
out a bunch of money and it goes to every state and whatever. But if
Hmm.
vaping is separate, that won't actually go. The money they make off of their products won't have to go into that fund. So it'll be a win-win for them also. So I don't know
Yeah.
why they would want it grouped together.
One thing that I find weird is, and it's really aggravating. And honestly, I don't see how everyone else is see. I mean, a lot of people probably do see it as aggravating, but I don't see how like other people don't see it as aggravating. Is they want to group us together, right? So they want to say tobacco, vaping products. We are together. We are grouped together. This is a whole community. Yada yada. But then they want to say, okay, well, we're going to ban only vaping flavors, but we'll still sell cigarettes, or oh, we want to ban this from vaping or that from vaping, or yada yada. But cigarettes, they're fine. We're not going to do anything to them, which to me doesn't really make any sense. I mean, unless you're like the one state that actually separated them. But then again, you want to put them in the same thing, but you don't want to go about it the same way. You don't want to say, okay, well, this is a 90% sales tax on cigarettes as well. And that's the thing that's making me really angry is how are you going to put us in the same boat and say we are the exact same, but then yet whenever it comes down to it, you want to try to find a loophole and say, okay, well, we're only gonna tax a certain thing. We're not gonna tax it all together, which to me
Right.
makes no sense. If they have a law in place that says, hey, they're set together, that they're together forever, but
Right.
then yet you want to try them separately and you want to put different taxes on each one, like a 3% on tobacco and a 93% on vaping. To me, that makes no sense and it's really annoying.
Yeah. And it may be that that state gets a lot from that fund and they don't want to, they're afraid they're going to lose that money. So they're trying to put so much of a tax on vaping that people will stop doing it. And you know, it all comes down to, you know, Clown said it's big business. You know, that's really what it comes down to. You know, people are looking at their budgets and saying, "Hey," and you know, I go through this every year where I work. We submit our budget, and they come back and say, "Okay, we need you to take out half of this, and half of this." And you know, anybody that deals with that at where they do their 9 to 5, that's going to happen. So what they're looking at is they're looking at how can we recoup this money that they're wanting us to cut out of our budget. And they're looking at, okay, well, if we lose this fund, you know, what's going to happen? You know, that's you know, just an example, say that's a third of our operating budget for this quarter is coming from this tobacco
Mhm.
fund. You know, okay, well, you know, since we're going to lose that if people all go to vaping, let's tax the crap out of vaping so that way people won't deal with it. They'll just keep smoking. So that way
Yeah.
we can keep our budget where it is. So and that, you know, that's just my opinion. I don't know if that really works that way or if stuff happens that way, but that's you know, coming from the way we do our budgets and stuff that we have to do, I can see that being a thought that runs through their mind.
Yeah. And like Clown said, that is BS part that they're willing to ban vaping but not cigarettes. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean it is because how are you gonna say that they're together but then ban one or the other and still honestly sell the other, which is to
Yeah.
me total shit. I don't see why they want to do that, but I mean I do see why they want to do that because it's all about the money. But
Yeah.
then again, it's like, well, if you are really, and that I can't remember who said it. Someone tweeted or someone said it something about the U.S. and how money corrupts you. And oh no, it was Angela Garrity, I believe. She said something like, "Don't let the money corrupt your dreams." So like pretty much, if you have a dream and you want to go out there and do something and you want to be a politician or a mayor or a governor or a president, and your whole thing is about health and helping out people and helping out others, but then yet someone hands you money and says, hey, if you kind of hush hush about your stuff right now,
Mm-hmm.
let us do this and you'll be fine.
Yep.
That's something that I really like that she put. I can't remember where she put. I think it was on Instagram, but she put it on there, and to me, I was like, dude, that's exactly what everyone needs to pay attention to is why are you letting your dreams? I mean, yeah, money can help a lot of things, but money can't buy you years. You could be a billionaire and smoke cigarettes every day and die at the age of 30, 40.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you're actually healthy, you can do so much more with that money, and you can make so much more money later on down the road. That's one of the things I got out of it. It's not all about the money. Let the money come later on. Do what makes you happy, and do what your actual goals and dreams are in life.
Yep.
And that's one of the things I always look at. Like at my company right now, I'm like, man, am I really happy here? And then it's like, okay, let's wait through processes. Let's keep going through stuff like that. But then it's all about what I can get in the outcome, what my goals are in my life, what I actually have that I want to achieve. So
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of different things that other people can put towards it, but that's one thing that I always put towards it.
Yeah. My number one priority when I go to work every day is to make sure the people that work in the warehouse floor or on the warehouse floor, they get to go home to their family every day.
Yep,
The
that's one
paycheck,
thing I always say.
yeah, the paycheck that I get at the end of the week is just a bonus for getting those people back home to their families.
Yeah, like the place I work, you'll probably there's some days where I used to leave as black as my hat because we work with a lot of carbon black and different colors
Mm-hmm.
and yada yada. But you'll come home different colors every other couple of days, and that's one thing I always said in our pre-shift meeting is my job is to make sure you go home the same way you came, just a little dirtier or maybe a
Yeah.
different color, but as long as you go home the same way and we give you the proper tools, you'll be okay.
Yep.
But I mean, it's something that the FDA should maybe take a page out of everyone else's book and say, hey, well, maybe we should actually look at it a different way. Maybe we should look at it as, hey, we're not really helping people. And I mean, you can honestly see it. But I mean, there's a lot of theories and conspiracy theories about like say, for instance, school shootings. I've heard people say, oh, well, people are just psycho. And I've heard, oh, well, it's conspiracy theories for people who want to say, okay, yeah, well, it's the government sending people in there so that way they can put a new law in for gun control and stuff like that. And honestly, I mean, it makes you think. Makes you
Yeah.
think, okay, well, is that true? Just like tobacco, is it really population control, or is it they just don't really care and they're all about the money?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it makes you think, and that's just stuff I think about, and that's stuff honestly I didn't really think about a whole lot of until I got into vaping and the advocacy side. Because I mean, like you can YouTube it all the time is conspiracy theories about 9/11, school shootings, bombings, all those things. And it's just like, okay, well, what's the real reason behind it? It makes me want to be able to like have a sit down meeting with someone from the FDA and say, hey, well, what are y'all really thinking? Like, how much are they really paying you to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it because of something else? And honestly, to me, that's just something I would really like to know. But yeah. So the next topic, were you done with this topic pretty much?
Sure.
So the next topic was one that Shane brought up to me, and I know we've talked about it in the past, but it was Great Britain, correct?
Yep.
They actually, I know they were saying by like 2050 they want to be smoke free. Now they upped it. I believe it is 2030. They want to be tobacco smoke free.
Yep.
So that means they don't want any cigarettes to come into their country. Is pretty much what they're saying. They're saying, hey, well, we don't want this at all in our country. That won't be on the shelves by 2030. So we're giving y'all some time to kind of get used to it and kind of get ready for it. But then they're also doing stuff like putting vape shops in hospitals.
Yeah.
Something the U.S. I wish the FDA watching this right now. I wish.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, there's a bunch of things going on with that. So we all know about New Zealand. They said 2025 a while back. Now Great Britain 2030. I mean, there's some good stuff going on right there that we definitely need to make sure we're paying attention to, and that we need to start maybe putting in some of our letters that we do or some of our calls that we do. Maybe bring up some of that stuff. Say, hey, well, Great Britain, I mean, they're a country that y'all kind of see as civilized as the United States, and you see that they are kind of their money and everything. You talk about all of that. Say, hey, well, they're doing this with their country. Why isn't this something that we can consider with our country?
Right.
I mean, it might not change anything, but you're putting that thought into someone's brain. That's the one thing we always say is make if you can't change someone's mind completely, because I mean, there's no way you can, because you can't change no one's mind. They have to change for the better, and they have to change because they want to.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get that thought in their brain, maybe say even 20 years down the road, they start thinking about it and they bring it up. You could change a lot of different things just from putting a thought in someone's brain. So that's something we should always do. And I mean, this is something that's great. I would love for the U.S. to start doing stuff like this. I mean, not even the vaping in the hospitals, but saying, hey, well, we kind of rethought our way, and you know what? We're going to bring vaping into uh, more places. We're going to say vaping is not getting banned anywhere, make it a nationwide thing. To me, that'd be awesome because then you'd have more healthier Americans and more healthier people. I mean, it's not going to fight obesity and everything, but I mean, it's a stepping stone. Okay,
Right.
you don't have 500,000 people dying in the U.S. no more if you get rid of tobacco cigarettes, which founded this whole country and nation that we have. But I mean, it's something that could definitely be a stepping stone.
Right.
It could we could be moving in the right way. And I mean, 500,000 people. I mean, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of good things that we could do right there.
Mm-hmm.
That we definitely need to make sure we're helping out on.
Yeah, like Chris said, it's just got to be that spark to create the fire, and that's what we want to be. We want, Jay and I have talked, many times. If we reach that one person that we can make a
Mm-hmm.
difference, then everything, all the research, taking time away from our families to do this, and coming on here, and we enjoy spending time with you guys, but we both have families and things like that, but impacting that one person, that this show and everything we do will make everything worth it. That one
Yep.
bug in somebody's ear to say, oh, well, maybe I can do that, or maybe I need to look into that. And then change somebody's life, just by
Mm-hmm.
coming on here, hanging out with my buddy, talking talking to you guys and having a good time. And it's so worth it. And honestly, I wish everybody would do it.
Yep. Because yeah, like Shane said, I mean, it's not like we go look at a like say we go to Vaping or Vape News Magazine. It's not like we go to one of those websites. Let's just pick out two or three articles. Okay, let's read over them real quick. All right, let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is stuff that we do throughout the week, and there's some work weeks where like if I have customers at my job, there's some work weeks where I come home dead tired because I just worked 13, 14 hours standing with a customer, pretty much trying to make our plant look as great as possible in front of them. Busting my ass to do that. Then I come home, I watch some live streams every now and then. You hear something on that. Oh, hey, let me look that up real quick.
Yep.
Or you hear something on on Instagram. Oh, hey, let me go to a link and see where that is. And let's just start looking at stuff. Twitter is a great place. You could post the link in there. All you gotta do is just click it, and you boom, you get automatically pulled over to that page. And I mean, it's something that me and him do a lot of because, like yesterday at like 2 in the morning, I was messing around. I was building some coils, and then instead of listening to music while I was doing that, I put on Matt Suck My Mods live stream from the other day to listen to it. So
Mm-hmm.
that way I can get more involved, or I can hear more about the PMTA process with this whole 60-day,
Ooh,
10-month thing.
sorry.
And I mean, it's stuff you can do where you're like, hey, well, I mean, I'm on my way to work. There's sometimes where I don't even have any music on in the car at work. That's 30-minute drive right there, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back.
Mm-hmm.
That's an hour right there where you could just listen to a podcast of something or put something on YouTube and listen to it over the radio.
Yep.
And then like when you get home, just even researching a couple articles might bring you to more and more articles and more pages. By the time you know about it, you've spent almost 3 4 hours away from your family just by doing a little bit of research. So, I mean, there's definitely time where you can do. Everyone can do it. I'm not saying that hey, me and Shane should be the people who are doing it. Me and Shane are the people who should be definitely out there looking at all these articles. It should be everyone's job to look for these articles.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, honestly, one thing I want to say is get in the stew crew. Get in the stew crew on Facebook. Go to the Discord. We have an advocacy page now. I know the Rising Vape Show, Mr. Logan Exhales. That's one of his biggest things on his page on his Discord
Mm-hmm.
is his advocacy page, and he's posting one link in there per day And that's one thing that I never do is I never post links in there because half the time they're already posted. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's he's on top of his stuff. So I mean, it's just taking a little bit of time out of the day, find the research, share it with people that you
Mm-hmm.
know their facts. That way they can start spreading the word too. It's like we always say is don't hold in that knowledge. I know a lot of workplaces say this all the time. Don't hold in that knowledge, pass it down so that way one day when you retire, someone else can fill in your job, or one day someone else can do your job. Definitely do that because you want people to be able to do the same thing that we are doing and everyone else is doing to try to fight for this community. And
Mm-hmm.
thank you, Mr. Addy Tooney, for all those links. Go ahead and everyone click on those links. You don't have to do it right now, but there's one for CASA, there's one for your representative,
Mm-hmm.
there's one for vaping research. There's one for the Instagram, no cloud, no hand check pictures. There's a lot of good links in there. Make sure you go click on them. Get involved with the organizations because I mean I've said it time and time. There's a lot of organizations where you don't see them doing something right now, and I think I posted it on Twitter. Is there's sometimes where we might get mad at them because they're a little bit behind on some stuff, and yeah, it kind of pisses people off to give money to people who post a call to action a month after it should have been posted. But I mean, you never know. There might be something that they're working on that could help us in a year, 5 years, 10 years from now to absolutely just save the vape community. Which I hope that is something. But like me and last episode, I know that's something that me and Shane would definitely love to do is be a part of the CASA board. That's something I would love to do because I think that they need to find people who are. This is not just CASA or Safada or not blowing smoke. This is for every vaping organization to fight with advocacy and activism and everything. Is I know me and Shane would be head over heels to work for them or to even just like be a volunteer or whatever because we have that passion, we have that love for vaping, and
Right.
honestly, that'd be super awesome because that's what I think those companies should look at. Say, hey, well, this guy's turning in a report to me every single day, and then I have this other guy over here who's playing on his phone the whole time, and he turns one in once every month, once every 2 weeks, and say the thing you have to meet is once every 2 weeks or whatever, and he's just barely meeting it. But you got this other guy who's busting his ass and putting in reports nonstop, kind of
Mm-hmm.
like Angela Garrity, who's writing for multiple places and still putting out really good information.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's something where you need to find people who have the love for it and who have the passion for it to actually be able to help it because this is especially in the time of right now where we actually need this stuff. This would be something that we definitely need is people who have the passion actually working for these places, trying to get a lot of good information out there to people so that way we can fight this head on and not fight it once it's already behind us.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's something I would definitely. I know Shane would love to be on there too.
One thing I wanted to point out what Jay was talking about, about people getting upset because a lot of times those call to actions are a little bit behind. Well, don't get upset about it. Contact them and say, hey, I'm in the area where you just posted that call to action. I understand it was a little bit behind. Do you guys need any extra help in this area? Do you need me to do anything in my area, where I am? Don't get mad. Offer your assistance to these people because they may be behind because they've been dealing with this ordeal in San Francisco. That was a huge thing. I'm sure they had about 95% of everything they have focused on this simply because it was
Mm-hmm.
such a big ordeal. Something might have slipped through the crack for these people. They're not perfect. They can't, you may have 10 people trying to cover 50 things. It won't hurt you to say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I've got 10 extra minutes every day. I can go in here and sit and maybe talk to you on the phone or look for something in my area and send it to you. How hard
Yeah.
is that? Don't get mad at these folks. They're doing everything they can, and there are only so many people. And I know I don't think anybody in
Yeah.
here gets angry about it, but yes, I have heard people get angry about it, and I fully don't agree with it because, as far as I know, most of the people that are at CASA or any of these organizations, I honestly don't think they get paid for what they do. And
Yeah, and Addy Tooney just said only one gets paid that he
yeah.
knows of for Kasah.
So there you go. You know, the people that are out there are all volunteers. They're taking time out of their day to do this for us. And you know, we may get on another one of those hashtag Oakley rants because that really gets under my skin. You know, the same thing with parenting and all that other stuff. It gets under my skin when people get mad. You know, hey, you missed this or you missed that. I'm doing this for free. I'm taking time out of my day to help you, and you're getting mad at me because I missed something. And I fully don't agree with it. You know, if you knew it was going on, you should have done something about it. You know,
Yeah.
don't depend on me to do it. If you know it's going on, come to me and say something and say, "Hey, I want to get out here and I want to do something about this. I just wanted to bring it to your attention just in case you missed it." And they may say, "Oh, we know it's going on. We've got, you know, that's our next project. Right now we have to focus on this, but if you want to take that on and you know, take these two people with you and y'all go do that." Simple
Yep.
as that.
And one thing Bree Stones just said, fight the battle against people, against many paid people. That's exactly right. We are fighting a battle with all these organizations with no one getting paid besides maybe one, two people. Okay, let's say we have 5 organizations. I'll put 5 organizations in my hand right now. I would say maybe 10 people out of those 5 organizations are getting paid to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're fighting against people who get paid to fight us.
Yeah.
So I mean, like Shane said, is if there's a huge flavor ban going on and they kind of missed a little 20, or I don't want to say a little, because I mean, say they missed a 20% sales tax or something like that, which battle do you think you should fight? Honestly, I mean, I'm just saying that to everyone out there in chat,
Yep.
and I know y'all would probably agree with me too. Go for that flavor ban, because once one of those happens, it spreads like wildfire, just like this sales tax that we started seeing. It you see one state do it, boom. Once it hits one of the bigger states, has a lot of political pull, you see, boom, it spreads like wildfire. It goes to all the little states, all the states that you wouldn't even think would have it. It starts going to.
Yep.
Like, I didn't think Texas was gonna have to try to fight one, and we had to fight one. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's crazy. But then it's like, okay, you see one flavor ban in California. Okay, it's already spread to one other city in California. Now it's spread all the way over to Massachusetts for the whole statewide. So I mean, it's you got to pick your battles. Oof. You got to pick
Uh-oh.
your battles, and you got to make sure that everyone's picking their. You got to make sure that you're not bashing people that's doing stuff for free to help people out. And I don't want to say for free, because I know it's for free though, but I'm pretty sure they want to see is just this industry thrive and come back stronger than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's honestly, if I worked for them, I wouldn't ask for a dime. If they said, "Hey, you want
Mm-mm.
to do this, get paid for it," yeah, I would do it. If they said, "Hey, this if you want to make this your full time job," hell yeah, I would make it my full time job.
Yeah.
But if they just offered me, "Hey, would you love to do a couple things for us?" and we don't have any money to pay you, I'm not going to sit there and say no. I'm not going
Yeah.
to do it. Of course, I would do it, because I want to see this. I want to see this industry come back stronger than ever, because this is something I have a huge passion for. I mean, like you can ask Clown. I was so interested on the DIY stuff whenever we were messing with it, and I'm like, okay, in my brain, I'm thinking about, okay, well, how does all the bigger companies do this? If you're just doing this with a little scale right in front of me, how do the bigger companies do it? And my mind just started moving.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about everything in this community, but then you also got to think about what these laws will affect. All those people you're thinking about of how, man, I wonder how they do all this. I wonder how they make the liquid. You got to think about all those people just losing all their money, all their product, everything I mean, some people have their life savings in a little rinky dink vape shop, a little
Mm-hmm.
brick and mortar, like the one in
Yep.
my town. Little brick and mortar. They probably have one of their, or pretty much their whole life savings in it, because they said, okay, this is where we can make money and this is where we can help people.
Yep.
But now look at it. They might not. They might come out of it even. They might come out of it way in the negative, which probably will happen. And they'll probably be sitting on a lot of products. So I mean, it's something that we all got to help people out on and help fight, because there's some people out there who can only get stuff from brick and mortars. There's some people who can only get stuff from online. And whenever we're sitting there, okay, well, the brick and mortars will still be around. Oh, there goes away
Mm.
online. You got people like Livia, who's someone in the Stew Crew. she orders everything from online because her closest shop is, I think, 3-4 hours away, something like that. That's a
Yeah.
whole day trip for me.
In
I mean, I
Indiana, they're super strict on their stuff too. It's hard
mhm.
for her to get stuff because a lot of people won't ship to Indiana anymore.
Yeah. So I mean, think about it now. How is she supposed to get her stuff? Okay, well, once a month, let me drive 4 hours or 8 hours total, spend pretty much a whole work day or a whole days of work driving there and back just to be able to buy a month's worth of product to be able to help me stay alive, stay not smoking cigarettes, stay to where I'm not eating away days and minutes of my life
Yep.
and years. So I mean, there's a lot of things that we got to think about whenever we're talking about vaping. It's not just blowing big clouds and everything, and we gotta think about the people who are doing stuff for free, the people who are helping out, the people who, even if you're doing stuff on social media, you're still taking time out of your day to do that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're still doing something. But I'm not saying if you're a social media or keyboard warrior or whatever you want to call it, don't sit there and bash everyone for doing stuff for free. I mean,
Exactly.
they're not getting paid. If they were getting paid $1 million a year, then yeah, I would say bash the hell out of them. I don't know what they're doing back there. They should have everything under control.
Yeah.
You're doing this for free, taking time out away from your family, watching your kid grow up, sitting with your husband or wife, and you want to bash them. To me, that's wrong. And that's one
Mm-hmm.
thing I've always stood by is, even if I see something where a call to action's like a month or two late, I still don't want to bash it. Yeah, I might say something in my head like, "Man, what the hell?" But I still don't want to bash it because I know what these people are going through. There's
Yeah.
so many battles going on around the world that are all around just the U.S. I mean, hell, they got to think about, okay, well, we got to do a call to action to a state now. Okay, now we got to do a nationwide call to action. Okay, now there's one in a little city. Oh, we got to do a call to action for them. Oh, there's one in a county. Let me do that to them. And
Yeah.
say, and then, okay, there's 5 scenarios right there times 50 states, and they got to try to keep up with each one of them. It's going to be hard. Believe me, it's
Yeah.
going to be
And
hard. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff we need to look at.
Clown said it earlier. Don't just wait for a call to action. You be a call to action. You be an
Yep.
activist. You be active
Mm-hmm.
yourself and know what's going on in your area. And you may need to bring it up. Send a message to CASA or Not Blowing Smoke or these folks. Hey, do you know about this in this area? I want to, can I issue, how can I help you issue a call to action? How can I help? I know this is a small, if something happened here where I live, it's, you know, middle of the Bible Belt in North Alabama, a town of maybe 5 to 6,000 people. If something happened here, I would not expect, CASA or any of these national, organizations to even know about it unless I said something to them. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I wouldn't expect it, but I would also expect me to say something to them and not get mad at them because they didn't know about it. Who's going to
Yeah,
know
that's just like
about,
my little town.
yeah, who's going to know about Podunk, Alabama? So,
Yeah, I live
that's
in
just a,
Venus, Texas. No one knows where that is.
yeah, I
Even
don't,
people who live around, even people who live like within like 45, 30 minutes of it, people are like, where is that? I'm like, you
yeah,
know where this city and this city and this city is? Like, I'm
yeah,
in the middle.
yeah,
And it's like, how are they supposed to know about a little itty bitty city?
yeah. I have a buddy that lives in Angleton, and I had to look it up when he was telling me where he lived. Because he was like, where Houston and Galveston? He said, I'm kind of in between the two. And I was like, okay, yeah, I know where you are now.
Yeah. I mean, that's I know this isn't really one of the topics we're gonna get on, but this is something that definitely needs to be said. Is I see a lot of people bashing them, and I see a lot of people taking it, trying to go viral with it, like trying to take it to YouTube, Instagram, all this other stuff. Oh yeah, well they're not doing this, they're not doing that. I gave them this much money, and they're not doing this. That money is helping them try to get to those. But then whenever you have 50 states you're worried about, I mean, even if you throw them $10,000,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to sit there and say, "Oh hey, let's drop everything with California. Hey, this guy over here in Wyoming needs us to do something.
Yeah.
He just gave us $10,000. Let's go look at this."
And here's
No,
the thing: it's
they're still gonna be fighting the fights.
it's not all about the money that you're giving them. Time
Mm-hmm.
that you give to these uh, advocacy groups is so much more important than any amount of money that you can stroke a check for.
Yep.
You can give them $50 billion, and if they have three people trying to do it all, they're going to miss something.
Hmm.
You know, they don't have that much money, but the people doing the actual actions are what they need.
Yep. And like me and Shane always say, or this is something Shane always says actually, is if you're not good with words, find someone who is, tell
Mm-hmm.
them what you want them to say, and boom. Like me, I'm not the best with pen. My penmanship is terrible. So a handwritten letter you will never get from me. Uh, Anyone in the FDA, government, wherever,
Yeah.
you're gonna get a typed up letter. I'll print it out, send it to you, or I'll email it to you. But I'm not gonna sit there and handwrite a letter because they're just gonna throw it in trash. Like I don't know what the hell this says. My
Yeah, I can't
handwriting's
read it.
super small and kind of sloppy. It looks like a doctor's handwriting.
Yeah, mine's the same
But
way.
yeah, but I mean, like I have an aunt who is actually the head of UIL journalism in Texas, and that's like for all the school districts and everything, the journalism part. She's the head of them. So I mean, that's someone who I can always turn to and say, hey, like say if I did do something for Casal, or I did something with Casal, or say one day I did something around that. I have someone who I could turn to who has a journalism background and say, hey, does this make sense? Does this make like would this put out a good picture? And she can revise it and be like, oh, you need to change this, this, and this, and that, and that's
Yeah.
it. I mean, everyone knows someone who's really good with words, who's good with this. You might have the passion, but you might not have the words. You might need to put a little bit bigger words. You might need to expand your vocabulary a little more. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying vapors are stupid or anything like that. I'm not trying to go to that stereotype which everyone goes to,
Yeah, we all
but it's
dumb.
just yeah, yeah, it's like just if we expand our vocabulary a little bit, and we might not even have to do it. We could just give it to someone and say, "Hey, can you revise this and help me out with it?" And they expand your vocabulary a little bit on it. You don't know how much more that could sense to someone in a political part or in
Right.
the FDA or in the government. It could help. It can change the whole way. You could probably send them the first draft and the second draft, and it could change their whole mind just like that, just by the
Mm-hmm.
words you're using, making it sound more elegant, making it sound more uh, less demanding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's definitely ways that we can all help out each other. Like I have the passion for it. I might not have the words. I know someone who has the words. Let me go to them. Or you might not be able, you might be very good with words, but you don't have the passion, but you still want to do something about it. But this is just something that you might be one of those people who go in there and, oh, okay, let me get my one bottle of juice and my two coils every 2 weeks, a month, or whatever, depending on if they're smart coils or not.
Yeah.
But
Every
but
other
yeah, I
day.
mean, there's yeah, but I mean, they might not have that same passion that we do. They might be like, oh yeah, it's helping me stay off of cigarettes, but they might not think about, okay, well yeah, it's helping me not lose time on my life. So I mean, there's definitely ways that everyone and anyone can help. Use your platform. I honestly don't have that many subscribers, don't have that many followers on Instagram or on Twitter. I still put my word out there. I still let my voice be heard. I still call my representative. I still email them. I still send them
Mm-hmm.
letters. Half the time, if I email them, I print out 3 of those letters and I send one each week.
Yep.
So they get one on one week. So for a whole month, I sent them the same letter. And if I don't hear a response, I'm like, okay, my representative ain't getting my vote because he can't respond to one of the 4 letters and they're the exact same.
Yep.
I mean, it's super easy to do it. It's just taking the time out of your day, and we all hate taking time out of our day. But I mean, even if you just have a thought and you're sitting there, take that 5 seconds, write that thought down. Oh, you have
Mm-hmm.
another thought. Take that thought, write it down.
Yep.
By the end of the week, you might have a whole page of thoughts that you could put into one letter and send to your representative. And all you got to do is just make your rough draft and start sending it off.
Yep.
I mean, it's something that everyone can do. We just need to make sure we're taking the time out of our day to do it because I mean, we owe it to this industry. This industry has helped save our lives. This industry has helped with so much. We all need to get a little bit fired up about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all need to get a little bit mad about it, pissed off about it, but we don't need to take that anger out whenever we're writing our letters.
Right.
Take a breather, take your time. Because I mean, there's sometimes, like, especially in California, whenever that stuff happened, I guarantee you there's some people in California writing some angry letters at that time. And it's like, okay, write your angry letter, whatever. Don't send it. Take a breath,
Exactly.
revise it. Look at which way you're doing it. Be an adult about it.
Mm-hmm.
actually communicate, talk to them, because they might
Yeah.
not have the same information we do. They might just be getting told by the governor, hey, you need to do this over here in your city,
Right.
and they might have to go with it.
Yeah. That all they have is the information that they're given. If they take that information at face value and say, okay, here's the research, this is what we have to do. If they don't take the time to look into it themselves to where they have both sides of the conversation, then somebody needs to provide them this side of the conversation, especially in a non-angry, a non around here we just call it don't be ugly about it. Uh, but Sean Typhon says it best: don't be a dick. You have to present it in a way where you are just as professional as the person that gave them the anti-study. We have to be able
Mm-hmm.
to give them our side of the study in a professional manner. And that's what makes the biggest difference. We can be angry. I've written many an angry letter and then set it to the side and let it stew for a few days and then come back to it and say, okay, let me take my high points out of this letter that aren't the angry side of it and then add the sensible side to it and then send it. It may take you a
Yep.
little time to get that down. Same thing I apply to my marriage. My wife and I never say anything out of anger. We come to each other and say, okay, you said this that offended me, and let's talk about it. I don't agree with what you're saying. I don't agree with your point of view, so let's talk about it. We've been together forever now, so it works, I promise, if you just take your time with it. We're definitely not getting on marriage on this show, though, because I really don't want to talk about it.
But yeah,
So,
I mean, it is just like marriage, though. Speak your mind.
mm-hmm,
I mean, whenever you're married, you don't want to go to bed thinking, or even married. I'm in a relationship I've been in for 7 years, something like that. I mean, it's been so long, I can't even remember how long, but yeah, it's been 7 years. But I mean, it's something that it's kind of like the same. I guess you could put it as almost like the same, because you don't want to speak out of context whenever you're talking to your representative. You don't want to speak to them in an angry manner, but then you also don't want to take stuff to bed that kind of hurt your feelings, or like, I mean, if they say, well, yeah, well, vaping's just stupid. I mean, if it hurt your feelings and you didn't say nothing about it, you just went to bed, then yeah, of course you're gonna feel bad about it. You're gonna, oh man, why didn't I say this? Why didn't I say that?
yeah,
Speak your mind, but make sure you think about your thoughts before you speak them. Because I mean, it's definitely something that everyone needs to do. Is going to bed angry is kind of sucks. So
yeah,
I mean, even if it's with your wife or your representative, it doesn't matter. Make sure you speak your mind. Make sure you let yourself know you're heard. Like Addie Tooney said, you are a registered voter, and vaping saves lives. I mean,
yep,
put that in your letter. That's something that can definitely catch their attention. Is that you are a registered voter. I mean, and if you have a huge platform, this is something you could also share too. I mean, I'm not saying go out there and hey, my representative wrote me back. Let me put this on a live real quick. But if it's they kind of went a little bit different route than what they should have, and they kind of used a little bit different words, then yeah, I mean, definitely call them out on it, because I mean that's something that more people need to see. If they're in it for a different reason, that's definitely something that people need to see. If it's not in there for the well-being of the people that they're supposed to be serving, because they do serve us, because we do vote them into office, then yeah, let it be heard, because that's something that more people need to see and more people need to know. Like, I have a representative here who every time I try to call, there's no way I can get a hold of them. Every time I
mm-hmm,
send a letter, there's no way I can get a hold of them. And I've brought it up before. Is it's really discouraging, but like Angela Garrity and Nick Garrity, who's in chat, they me will don't stop the fight. Keep going with it. If they
yeah,
don't want to answer, keep calling.
mm-hmm,
That's honestly what I do. I mean, they don't sit there and they don't do it, but that's something like whenever I'm getting to a political talk with anyone, which everyone hates political talks, but honestly, I kind of like them. But I mean, political talks, like if anyone ever gets one with me, they'd be like, oh, well, yeah, well, I mean, this guy, he's really good. I've talked to him before, man. He's so good. It's like, really? I've tried, I don't know, 15, 20 times, and I haven't heard nothing. I've sent him over 100 letters. I haven't heard nothing. automatic response from his representative or his secretary or whatever. I mean, let that be known, because then it might not even be vaping related, but it could get someone out of office who doesn't need to be there, and you could get the right people in there.
Hmm.
That's pretty much all we need to do. We need to get people who are passionate and don't care about the money, but that's honestly really hard whenever you paid a huge amount for your school loans and everything, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's something that needs to be done. It needs to be done to where it's being done properly, though.
Yeah, and one thing you want to look at is if you do get into a conversation with your representative, ask them what research they're looking at and ask them if they can provide you that research. I don't see
Yeah,
why they couldn't. I don't know. I've never had that conversation. But don't just put, here's our side of the research, because they may not have any. They just may have somebody coming to them saying, hey, all the other Republicans are voting this way. Okay, I'm voting this way. I'm voting with everybody else. So make sure you ask them, hey, what research are you basing this on? And can you please provide me this research? So that way I can look at it and, maybe you can decipher it, or if you may have a friend that can decipher it for you, that I don't know. But always make sure to find out what research they're looking at, because a lot of that stuff may also be online that
yep,
we'll be able to find it and say, okay, well, so and so team did this research and they're part of RJ Reynolds, or they're funded by Philip Morris, or this big pharma group, Pfizer, or whomever, and that will give you more ammunition when you go back and say, hey, this research is kind of funny. It came from big pharma, and here's the research from what I've gathered that will counteract what this research says. So, I just want to provide you all the information that I have, so that way my voice can be heard through you, because you're an advocate for me.
yep. And like Bree Stone said, um, this is one of Ruby Roo's advices that she spoke about on her show. So make sure y'all go check her show. It's on Thursday, I believe, at 9 p.m. Central.
Yes.
But is take notes, so that way whenever you are talking to your representative, you're ready. Say if they bring up a topic that you kind of like, you might be getting so passionate and talking about one thing that they might bring something else up, and you might just change the subject. Have your notes ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, take like me. I'm someone who I take a lot of notes. Like I am very very forgetful, and it's bad. Like at work, there's another guy at work who does the same thing. He piece of paper in his pocket, and he sits there every time someone says, "Hey, I need this." He writes it down.
Mm-hmm.
That way he can go through and he can check off. Same thing with your representative. Before you call them, make sure you take notes on key points that you want to bring up. Maybe even write down some links, or say, hey, well, let me have your email. I'll email you some links. You go ahead and look at them while we're on the phone together and tell me what you think. There's a lot of things you could do with your representatives, especially with all these links, because like Shane said, I mean, my work's the same thing. They didn't have any information. They just pretty much said, hey, well, everyone else in the North American region, we're all going smoke free. So I mean, we're like one of the last plants who haven't done it. We're going to do it. I'm like, okay, well, what's the point on it? I mean, yeah, the Clean Air Act, whatever. Smoking tobacco, yeah, but then you're going to also clear out vaping,
Mm-hmm.
but then you're going to bring other NRT products in. Whenever vaping is pretty much an NRT product, it's there to help you get off of smoking cigarettes and
Mm-hmm.
tobacco. But yet we're gonna say, hey, we can give everyone else these NRT products, but this one right here, because it creates a smoke-like effect, which is vapor, we're gonna put it over here, and we're gonna consider it the same as tobacco.
Right.
No, I mean, to me, I went up to them. I was like, well, what's y'all's research? What's y'all's investigations? What led y'all to this? They pretty much told me, well, everyone else, every other plant's done it, so we have to do it now.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, well, when's the next call with all the other HRs, so that way I can talk about it and I can figure out where their research is, so that way I can get more information. They just pretty much said, hey, we're doing it for health and wellness. I said, well, yeah, I understand that, but you're talking about health and wellness, NRT product, 2 times more effective than any other one to help you stop. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
to me, this makes more sense.
Yeah, they still have vaping in our wellness program or whatever. It's still listed as electronic tobacco.
Yeah. Uh, our we have a tobacco sign off form every year for our insurance, and if you sign off that you are a tobacco user, then you have to you give $22 or something like that every 2 weeks for the insurance or some BS.
Yeah.
But they pretty much said, okay, well, there was one form that just said any tobacco product. So I put no. I got away with it for a year. Not a tobacco product. Then the next year they come back with any nicotine product. Hey, I'm vaping 0 milligram now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
This year they came back with any electronic cigar, electronic cigarette, like electronic vaping device. They had at least 10 electronic devices on there. I was like, oh, they got me this time.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I mean it's if you chew gum or you use a nicotine patch, you're not going to get affected the same way. I'm losing almost $50 out of my check every month because of I vape. I try to stay healthier. I try to stay alive
Yep.
longer than what I could with chewing tobacco or smoking cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm uh, trying to cut my cancer down or cut my risk for cancer down, but yet I'm still getting charged like I'm still smoking cigarettes. And to me, it doesn't make sense like always. But I mean, it's just something that makes me really angry. It's they don't want to listen. And honestly, I go through the same thing with my representatives. I go with at work when I talk about stuff like this. And it's funny because like my boss will come in my office. Dang, how many mods you bring today? I brought like 3 or 4. Oh yeah, man, we'll smoke it up because you got only till the end of the year. I'm like, I'll vape it up. I won't smoke it up,
Yeah.
but okay. And then I every time that something like that happens, I try to bring up just one thing. Hey, you know this is 2 times more effective than the gum patch or Chantix or anything like that, and it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
make you go fucking psycho.
Yeah.
Makes you normal. Makes you
Yeah.
normal, man. And it's just I guess it's just a passion in me. But Bree Stone's brought up also is it's hard to speak clear whenever passion takes over, and that is true. But I mean, like me and Shane said, take a deep breath because there is that time where you might get a little too passionate and you might start sitting there and get a little pissed off and you might just say something out of context. Just take a deep breath. All you gotta do is sit back, take a deep breath. You'll be fine.
Yep.
But is there anything else you want to go over on this one?
I believe that's it. We kind of stayed on subject.
Yeah, we got a little rant.
Yeah. Hey, that's
That's what
okay.
everyone comes for.
Yeah.
We're gonna start changing the title, the Weekend Wisdom rant number 22.
Yeah. Rant vlog.
Mm-hmm. There we go. I mean, and sometimes I know it's hard to get a lot out whenever people do rant because there's sometimes when people rant and I kind of like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
I'm watching a show, I'm like, oh god, here it goes again. He's
Yeah.
getting ranty, but it's kind of like music. I think of if you can either listen to the beat or you can listen to the words.
Yeah.
If you're gonna listen to the beat and say, "Oh, he's just going ranty," look at this, or is he actually? Are you listening to the words? Because like a lot of songs, whenever you sing them or whatever, you don't even pay attention to what you're singing. Like my
Mm-hmm.
daughter, she'll say something 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 shit, or I'm like, whoa, whoa, what'd you just say? I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
but it's because she's not listening to the words; she's just singing it. But whenever you actually listen to the words, when people have passion about music or advocacy or advocating or activism or anything, you can learn a lot from that. I'm not saying you're going to learn a lot from me and Shane. This might be stuff you already know, but
Yep.
it's kind of like what Danielle Jones did. And it's kind of like what a lot of advocates do. We take information from all different parts, from a lot of other different advocates and a lot of people who are way bigger up on the chain than us, and we bring it down and we try to bring it to y'all so that way
Mm-hmm.
y'all can be informed with it.
Yep.
So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we want y'all to pay attention to, and we want y'all to be informed about. And this is honestly one of my favorite days of the week is to do this, and we are going to be. This is a smooth transition right here,
There
but
we
we are
go.
going to be doing more of these over on Shane's channel. Shane, I don't know if I told you this yet, but staying on your channel, I want
Oh,
it to
okay.
stay on your channel
That'll work.
every Tuesday. What time did you want to do it at? 8?
I think it's 8. Tuesday at 8.
To every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central, we will be doing the weekday wisdom until we find a new name or whatever Shane wants to call it. But it's pretty much going to be the same thing as this, but you get it twice a week now,
Yep.
and it's something that's gonna help us out more because it's gonna help cut the show down a little bit on the weekend wisdom and the weekday wisdom because now we want to talk for 2 hours about advocacy because all the stuff that happened.
Yeah.
It could be an hour each show. It could be 30 minutes each show. You never know, but it's just what goes on in that week
Yeah. And
that
it
could help
gives
us out.
it gives us a better opportunity to be more on top of, calls to action, and we can, you know, do research, but hey, okay, we need to touch on this, this, and this, and this. Okay, well, why don't we do this on weekday wisdom? We do this on weekend wisdom. It gives us
Mm-hmm.
more opportunity to prioritize because, we'll come in here, 30 minutes, an hour early, and there'll be 7, 8 different things that, Jay and I both bring up. And it's like, okay, well, let's talk about this one, and then we'll
Yep.
touch on this one. So doing it once, we kind of have to pick and choose, but we'll be able now to especially really focus on
Mm-hmm.
individual things, and it'll make it so much better because we can get more information out. You know, having it on two separate channels, we'll be able to touch maybe more people on both sides. So who knows? But we're going to do it. So
Yep.
we're doing it for you guys, so that way you can have the most up to date information, and it helps us because we get to talk about it and we get to get this off our chest. And yeah, we get to rant every once in a while. And a lot of people are, they think, like Jay does, where it's, oh, he's going ranty again. But then there's another side to people where it'll be like, oh, golly, he's so passionate about that. That makes
Yep.
me excited. And Logan is that way. He'll cheer you on if you start ranting. He's like, oh,
Yep.
rant, rant,
Oh
rant,
yeah.
and he just keeps on going with it. And I love that. I love that all you guys are involved in the chat, and Addie and Clown, Breeze Tones, everybody that's out there. Thank y'all so much. Y'all make this so much worthwhile for us taking time to do this. And that's the reason that's another reason that we're branching out, because we want to be there for you guys. We want to be advocates for you, just in case you can't be.
Yep.
So, and one more thing I wanted to bring up that I've really been putting out lately is unity in the vape community.
I got shirts coming,
Oh,
man.
do you really?
I gotta get these. I gotta get these shirts up. I gotta find the font. I'm gonna
Uh,
get these shirts up because you could put them on your whatever spread shirt or whatever one
yeah,
you use too. This is something that I've been saying for a while. Is we need unity in the vape community. I kind of said it a different way, and then Shane, boom, he brought it. He brought it to life. We need unity in the vape community. I'm like, boom, that's the perfect slogan.
yeah,
But that is something that we definitely need, and I love that Shane kind of put those words together because I mean it's awesome. We need that. We need to fight this battle together. We don't need to sit there and bicker about other stuff. We need to fight this battle together.
yeah. And that's one thing I was talking about. I think it was with Joel the other night. I don't care if you vape this or if you vape this. It doesn't matter to me. You know, Vaping is vaping, regardless of which one you use or anything in between.
Yep.
Uh, we just need to be arm in arm, hand in hand, however you want to look at it. I don't care where you are on your journey. If you've been using this for 6 months or if you've been using this for 8 or 9 years, I don't care. You know, I want you arm in arm with me. I don't want you behind me. I don't want to be in front of you. I don't want you in front of me. We need to be side by side, fighting the battle together. That will make a difference. The
Yep.
unity will make a difference. One voice turns into 100,000 voices. 100,000 voices will be heard, regardless of what you're talking about.
Yep. You could be talking about how you want to legalize taking a dump in public. And if there's a million people behind you, I guarantee you you'll hit the news somehow.
Yep.
I mean, it's just something dumb to bring up, but I mean, we need to be all together, and that's I think it was last week or the week before where I talked about it, and it was actually what's his name, Homeboy Buck, his new page. I think it's Dirty Bird or something like that on Instagram. He sent me something. I kind of got a little mad about some people who I messaged and they said that screw advocacy. Why would I want to advocate? My platform is for this,
Yeah.
and I kind of got mad about it. I called him out, but after that, I dropped it. he sent me something where time's up. It's not the time to complain. It's not the time to bicker. It's not the time to fight each other.
Yep.
Pretty much what I got out of it is if they don't want to be a part of this, they don't want to be a part of the part that is actually harm reduction and not, and they just want to do like little O's and what, putting this out to trickers. I'm putting this out to everyone. If they want to be if they don't want to be a part of this and help this fight, call them out on it once, leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't want to respond, don't spend your time on it, because then that 5-10 minutes you're spending on that post right there every week about, oh, this guy sucks, whatever his name is, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. That time right there, you could be making a call to action. You could be doing something for CASA. You could be doing something for advocacy. You could be calling your representative. You could be doing something else besides calling people out. And to me, that's something I see big right there. And I really love that post, that time is up. It's not time to complain. It's time to come together. If they don't want to come together, they don't want to fight the battle with you, leave them behind.
Yep.
And if they want to come in later on, oh yeah, we won the battle, yay! Screw you.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's you gotta drop it, and you gotta keep your eyes set on your goal. There might be little roadblocks in the way. Oh hey, should I turn this way or should I keep going straight? No, keep going straight. Keep your head forward. Keep walking, and keep getting to what you want to get to.
Yep.
But that brings us to the end of the show. So, Shane, did you have anything else you want to say or anything else you want to throw out there? Addie Tooney did throw your link to your YouTube.
Thank you, Addie.
In the chat. It's also in the description. So if anyone does not get there, if anyone's not watching the chat or anything, or on the replay, his link is in the description. Make sure you go subscribe, because on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. we'll be over there on his channel.
Yep. I do have a new email, and I'm about to drop it in the chat. Hold on.
I like your new email. I need to start sending stuff to that instead of the other one.
Oh, it's okay. All right, there you go. Now it's in the email. letyourvoicebeheard.so@gmail.com. Anything, if you need me for anything, anybody in here is free to email me. I will help you any way that I can. If you need me to talk about something, doesn't matter. Something going on in your area. Hey, have you seen this? Have you heard of this? Can y'all please talk about this? No problem. We're branching out so we can bring more information to the table. And this is a way where we can get more information as people bringing it to us. This will be a huge help for us. And, like I said, if you need help with anything, doesn't matter, don't ever think it's a stupid question, because there is no stupid question. So, like I said, if you need anything, that's the email where you can get in touch with me at any point in time. Depending on how many emails I get on here, it may take me a little bit to respond, but you'll always get an individual response from me. That's just the way I operate.
Do you have that in your about on your
I don't think
YouTube?
so. I don't think so yet, but I'll put it up there after we get done.
Yeah, if you need help with it, let me know. I'll help you out, because that's definitely something. Anything for this show, Tuesday's show, or any of Shane's pre-recorded ones he puts up, or my pre-recorded, you could put it in mine. I have my email in my about on YouTube with all my links to my social medias. But yeah, it's pretty much where you can tell them, hey, this is going on near me. I don't think anyone knows about it, because you might live in a small town of 5,000 like me and Shane, and this is something where we can help you get it out there, because there might be someone in the town over from you watching this show who might not know anything about it, and they might be like, hey, what the heck, the next town next to me is having this go on, let me go over there and let me talk to these people, because there's only 3,000 people and they might not know nothing.
Right.
So definitely email Shane. That'd be great.
And I've still been doing research on a lot of this FDA funding versus OSHA funding. I wanted to kind of look at that and do some research on that. It was brought up a while back that a lot of OSHA's funding is by the fines that they collect. And, people are like, why isn't FDA funded that way? Well, I wanted to research that and kind of see if that was a plausible way that the FDA could be funded. So I'm still looking into that, and I want to put out a video on that once I get everything kind of lined out. And I know my videos have kind of slacked off, but I've had so much going on at home and
Mhm.
at work and all this other stuff. But that's, neither here nor there. But one other thing that I wanted to say was I think that somebody brought up not too long ago about the flavor ban in San Diego that the cigar companies have now started to fight back. Or no, that was in Massachusetts because
Yeah.
their flavor ban was across the board. No flavored tobacco products, period. And I
Yep.
think
It
that
was
the
only straight tobacco.
yeah, and I think that the cigar companies are now fighting back against that because that's going to eliminate all their grape flavored cigarillos and all that other stuff.
Hey man,
And
they even got chocolate flavored cigarillos.
I don't.
They
Yeah.
got pretty much any flavor you can think of. So that's something huge that they're gonna fight back because I know
Hmm.
most of them are part of. I think Swisher Sweet and Copenhagen are made around. I think they're made in the same factory. I think or they're the same. They're owned by the same company. So I mean, this is gonna like Copenhagen, Skull. You could probably see all those tobacco companies start coming in, and most of
Yeah.
those people probably make cigarettes or cigars in their building. So I mean, it's something where the tobacco company is going to have to come and help fight. It's not just us going to be on our own, which is something that's awesome. But I mean, they're fighting it because they want to still have flavor stuff. But
Yeah.
it's just good that they're going to be able to at least help us out.
Yeah. Because that's going to put a dent in their finances too if they eliminate everything flavored.
Yep.
Because it didn't say flavored uh, e-juice. It just said flavored tobacco products is the way it was worded. So that's going to come back to bite them, and they may end up having to repeal the whole thing and reword it, and hopefully that will happen because that will give Massachusetts an opportunity for the vaping community to come together and fight against it because this was kind of an under the table deal. I think it was here's the principal law, but we're throwing in this little uh, flavor ban in here as a secondary. And I think that's how it got through so quick without people even really knowing about it. And that's one thing we may want to bring up to our uh, legislators is to be on the lookout for these little backdoor deals because I know a lot of the bills that they put out, they come in a binder that's 4 to 6 inches thick, and it may have all this little tag along stuff with it, and they really have to pay attention to that stuff. And I think that's something we may want to bring up to our legislators so that way they'll understand.
Oh,
Here's how Massachusetts did it. Please be on the lookout for this. It may slip up on you, and please notify me if this happens. Uh, you know,
yeah.
that could help.
Definitely. Oh yeah.
So, what you got going on your channel this week?
Got some reviews coming up. I'm most likely gonna do this one. I'm gonna do the rebirth. I might actually do the Keen as well.
Nice.
A little two mod Tuesday. I might do something like that. But I kind of put a schedule on my about for my channel, and I have a community thing now. So I put some questions in there. If anyone wants to answer them, go ahead and answer them. It's pretty much what are you looking more for? You're looking more for advocacy. You're looking for more pod reviews, mech mods, tanks, RDAs. What are you for of, or even juice reviews? Because I want to be able to help out the people out there. Because I'm not really I'm doing these reviews kind of for like, hey, this is what I bought. This is what I think of it. Because I'm spending my money on it. I might as well share my opinion. And so this is one of the ways I want to do this. And one of the ways I want to help people. So I mean, if there is something out there you want to see reviewed, just go ahead and drop it in there. Or send me an email or a message on any of my social media. But I got some reviews coming up this week, and I've kind of put a schedule up for what I'm gonna do. I think I put it's gonna be 2 reviews a week. It's gonna be a mail time or a flashback Friday or a throwback Thursday video as well. So there's gonna be at least 3 videos going up each week for now on, plus weekend wisdom, and plus I'm gonna be doing a video with Shane. So that's gonna be at least 5 times a week. I'm gonna have something going up on YouTube. So
Nice.
it's going to help me grow. It's going to be able to help people get more information. And like I said, I don't receive many of my products. I was the only thing I've really received is juice from companies,
Mm-hmm.
and half it was from a show, and half it was from, hey, well, here, let me give you this because you did a review for our stuff. I
Right.
mean, that's awesome, but the I best say 95% of the stuff that I review or I put on my channel or I show y'all on any of my lives or anything, it's stuff that I purchased, and I want y'all to not make a bad purchase. So I mean, if you see I did a review on something and you said I said I hated it for what reasons, listen to those reasons because that might be a nitpicky con for y'all as well, and you might not like it. So it might save you a $50 to $100 here
Mm-hmm.
and there. That's the reason why I do my reviews.
Yep.
But that's pretty much all I got. Like Shane said, make sure you email him. My email is in my about. Shane's gonna put his and his about on his YouTube, and then all the links for our social media are down below. I will add his email in there as well. But I mean, just make sure y'all email us. Make sure y'all do something. If y'all need anything or y'all find a topic, just make sure y'all send it to us any way possible. We will get back to you. The email I put on my about is pretty much just for a couple different things besides this channel. So I mean, it's not flooded with spam mails or anything like that. So I mean, it's something that I could actually focus on. And if you send me an email, I'll probably be able to respond within an hour, depending on what time it is. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's something that's going to be able to help out a lot. But that's pretty much it. Did you have anything else you need to say?
No, that's it. I mean, like I always say, let your voice be heard. Please get out there and do your research. Be an advocate. Be an activist. Do whatever you have to do to keep vaping alive, and make sure that you just try to foster the love with everybody when it comes to vaping. Don't be an asshole about it. We all can be, but just try not to be. Is yeah, that's the best advice I can give you. I have to try a lot because I'm an asshole by nature because I'm just very blunt and straightforward. Here's my opinion, and I really have to really control what comes out because there's no filter normally between here and here. So, but thank you all for tuning in, and we greatly appreciate it. Make sure you tune in Tuesday, 8 o'clock, or yeah, Tuesday at 8 o'clock. So we'll be there. Hopefully, we'll have some good information. I've already been researching, so I know we will.
Oh yeah. So definitely go subscribe to Shane. But until next week, the weekend wisdom is out. We'll see y'all later.